Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Quadab, GMS Gulf Coast. And I'd like to start by giving infinite honor, praise, and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors are given up to the elder apostles, as well as the elders, the bishops, the heads of camps, Great Millstone, and Great Millstone by and large. Also, a shalom goes out to the sincere Akim that are out pushing the 100% truth with all true faith and sincerity and gladness of heart, calling on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And last but not least, shalom goes out to the men, women, and children in that order who have come back to the obedience of the scriptures and are calling on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. To you all, shalom. And let's clarify something before we get started. Those men, women, and children of an innumerable number, out of them to every nation on planet Earth, you know what I'm talking about? But they and may look like these other nations, you know. But in the spirit, they go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And therefore, they call on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Don't matter what you look like nowadays, you know what I'm talking about? Being that we've been scattered in all these different nations. So you don't have that phenotypical look of a so-called black, Latino, or Native American. Nevertheless, your spirit bear witness with these scriptures that you are a child of the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom. Lord willing to be edifying. Lord willing. Americans, weaklings, are cracking up under pressure. Now, who is the American weaklings? I want to start it out by saying, you know, the scriptures goes into, it's straightforward, straight to the point for those that the Lord is dealing with, first and foremost. Let's say that. Whoever the Lord is dealing with, again, your spirit, bear witness to these scriptures. That is the truth that you are receiving. Then you'll understand that the scriptures goes into descriptions of nations, you know what I'm talking about, characteristics of the people of that nation, you know what I'm talking about, the mannerisms, the personalities for the most part of the people of the nations. And there's a scripture in the book of Hebrews, I believe. It says, matter of fact, let me just go there real quick. So let me just go there. This is Hebrews real quick. I'm going to open it up with this. Let me see. Hebrews. Let's see. This is Hebrews chapter 12. And I'm going to start at verse 16, and it reads, it says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau." And Esau is a so-called white man, woman, and child, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. When you get into the book of Genesis, it gets into that. It goes into that. Verse 17, "For he knew how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance." And here's the key right here. "Though he sought it carefully with tears." And there's a race of people in particular, man, when they get caught up in their folliness and their privilege doesn't kick in and whatnot, or they find themselves on the tough end of the stick and there's no one coming to rescue them, you know what I'm talking about, or they have not been afforded their head start, all of that gets retracted and taken from them. They cry like a baby, you know. Case in example, this white girl killed this Jake, it's like unalived this Jake, and he was having a diabetic issue, and she cut him. He cut off some traffic, you know. He did some in traffic. Anyway, she took it upon herself to handle that situation, you know what I'm saying, And the end result was that she unalived that Jake. He was an older man, older Jake. I think in his mid-50s, no, mid-60s, 70s, somewhere up in that range. But anyway, she was just recently given her sentence, and she sat there and cried like a baby. Her privilege, none of that kicked in. She was held liable for her actions, and she had to take accountability. And far too often they get away with things like that, and much more worse atrocities, when it comes to dealing with you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So the very few times that they do have to stand and be held accountable for their actions, they boo-hoo and cry like a child. You know what I'm saying? Like a goat would, you know what I'm talking about? Goat, that cry. So again, the characteristics of these people are being played out. That Hebrews 12 and 17, it says, for he was rejected for his blessing, his inheritance, right? He found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. They cry. Again, let's just open up with this clip right here, and I got many more. This is going into subject matter of those fires over on the West Coast in California. And you're going to see quite a few, well, I ain't going to say quite a few, but you will see some of these so-called white people, Esau, Edom, biblically. You will see some of them crying and making complaints, but only when it deals with them, to their situation. It's not favorable, and there's really no other action or remedy to help them out. They start crying. Again, this is a characteristic of the so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? Again, the Bible goes into characteristic mannerisms, personalities of people and nations. You know what I'm saying? And tell me this doesn't fit them.
I know you gotta be at the same level of mental health as me. Every day it's something new between the flus and the stupid Biden and stupid Trump. This country's, every day we're spending more and more money. None of us are getting ahead. The rich people are the ones that are fucking getting ahead. I'm tired of struggling.
He's tired of struggling. Again, for people who show no mercy, especially the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Lord's chosen people, you know what I'm talking about, who have shown no mercy. Now mind you, I'm saying this, the things I'm about to say, I speak first and foremost for myself. You feel what I'm saying? There will be no mercy here, as concerning me. You know what I'm talking about? But there'll be many of us, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, man, that'll be on their GoFundMe pages and whatnot, throwing in nickels and dimes and whatnot, monies that they don't even have, money that they don't even have, talking about to help these people, man. Just so as soon as they can get in a better space, goddamn, they could deny you, show you their appreciation, and their appreciation will be a middle finger, F you. But the characteristics of Esau Edom, man, he's a crybaby, man. When things, he's sick and tired of being sick and tired. What say you all? You know what I'm talking about? We have to be patient and long suffering and have to deal with this generation after generation, man. Ecclesiastes, he says, and Lord willing, it's the end of this, man. We're at the end of this ass whooping, man. Because we have been enduring this for a while now. Let's see, real quick. It says, let me see, Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament, and it reads, it says, verse 7 and it reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Verse 8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patience in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. You feel what I'm saying? And this is a proud spirit right here, man. And then again, the Lord is pushing plagues on this place like he did in ancient Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Being that this is modern day Egypt. And these modern day Egyptians, these so-called white folks, these other nations, man, they can't take it, man. Especially Esau, the so-called white man. Any little level of discomfort, they crack up. You feel what I'm saying? As you see right there, American weaklings are cracking up under pressure. Man, we have to endure bombings of our cities, lakes, dammed up lakes, drowned, put lakes over our towns and whatnot, man. Jim Crow, chattel slavery, redlining, you name it, man. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like it. And we're still standing, man. We're still standing through it all and been through it all. You know what I'm talking about? We're still standing. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to find a scripture if I am able to find it. This is Isaiah 1:9, and it reads, "Except the Lord Yahweh of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah." So the Lord has always left a remnant. It's going to be a remnant left in this when all this catastrophic things come down. You know what I'm talking about? When all hell breaks loose, Jacob's trouble is initiated. I mean, it is in so many sense. Since it has been initiated, but you can still move around. Pretty much. Go take care of your banking needs, go to work, and this and that and the third. If you feel like stop by a fast food restaurant or a 4-star restaurant, you know what I'm talking about. So it's still some similitude of normalcy, quote unquote. But all of that is about to be taken away, man, and that's what we're witnessing. And the Lord is visiting Egypt with plagues, tempests and storms, man, with them fires. You see them. And Esau can't take it, man. You know what I'm talking about? They can't take it, man. It makes you wonder how they're going to do in their captivity, because that's what they're headed to. Unbeknownst to them and 2/3 of our people who don't want to hear the real gospel. These so-called white folks, these people that you call your friends, you know what I'm talking about? Your co-workers, you know what I'm saying? Becky and John, you know what I'm talking about? And their families. Their ass is going into servitude, man. And this is behavior of them right here, this crying and whatnot, Anyway, I'm going to let the video play.
Spending more and more money. None of us are getting ahead. The rich people are the ones that are fucking getting ahead.
Now, mind you, he's talking about them. He's not, he's not talking about his quote unquote black friends, Again, I say this with I'm being cynical, but it's truth in what I'm saying. When these folks set up GoFundMe funds and whatnot, it's gonna be a lot of so-called blacks. Slacky for that. I'm dealing with little congestion. It's gonna be a lot of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, man. Gonna be on that, kicking in, money that they don't even have. You know what I'm talking about? All to be in the end giving the middle finger, and yeah, to be disrespected in the end, like time and time over.
I'm tired of struggling. I've done everything I can. I'm trying to be a good man. I take care of my daughter. I take care of my wife the best I can. I can't keep going. Every day it's something new.
Is that not our situation? Every day, every time these so-called Republicans and Democrats go into those sessions, those midnight Friday weekend sessions, 48 hours later, they come out with some new, more stringent laws, you know what I'm talking about, that you so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans have to adjust your lives around, you know what I'm talking about? It's just something every day. It's something every day. It's funny. It's funny. Because again, the things that we have had to endure over the generations, you know what I'm talking about, these folks show you that they're not built like you. So all the stigmas and the what it is, what they call it when they put stereotypes, all them dog whistle stereotypes, they lazy. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you're seeing it right now. These folks are not built like they mouths profess them to be. When you've been given a head start, over a 200-year head start, yeah, you're supposed to win the race. But I'm glad to tell you, I'm glad to inform you, so-called blacks, you so-called whites, you have not won the race, because the very rich are the people of your own nation, man, your own ethnicity. You can't blame this on the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, huh? Because if you could, you would. And again, it's like the scripture says what that is. Let's see. Let me see first. I think it's First Thessalonians. I believe it is. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, let's see. Righteous thing. This is. Where it says it's a righteous thing to recompense. Because the Lord is paying these folks back, man. Let's see. Is it First Thessalonians or Second Thessalonians? Slacky. Okay, it's 2 Thessalonians 1:6, and it reads, "Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to recompense tribulation to them that troubled you." And it is, man. Recompense goes into it's payback time, man. The Lord is paying you back. Because we're not to do anything but go out and preach this word, man, so that the prophecies could be spoken as they are being made manifest. And that's the Lord's pattern right there. Let's go real quick. That's the Lord's pattern. To go out and prophesy before he started laying the waste. This is Jeremiah 28:8, I think it is. Let's see. And it reads, it says, "The prophets that have been before thee," Slakia, "the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against both," Slakia, prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war and of pestilence and of evil and of pestilence. Let me read that again. I kind of butchered that. Jeremiah 28:8. "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence." And real quick, since I'm over here in the New Testament, let me go real quick. This is Isaiah 45:7, and it reads, "I, being the Most High, Yahweh, Heavenly Father, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things." And see, these people just lost. They're just as lost as all those Edomites leaving their cars out on them smoky interstates and those back roads trying to beat that fire. But again, these things are only going to get worse for these people, man. And 2/3 of our people, Yeah, 2/3 of our people, the ones that are going on GoFundMe funds, and those ones that find themselves in the way of these people, and they unalive one of your children, and you be the first one standing up there, "I forgive them," This is just the beginning of your sorrows. No, it's not going to end. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's only going to end with your demise. You so-called white folks, and you 2/3 so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that want to be a friend of these people, man. The Lord is punishing their ass, and so shall he do you the same. Trying to be a friend of these people, man. They're getting their just due. And it's all because of the Lord, man. And we read in Jeremiah, hey, look, prophets of old prophesied against great kingdoms and matter of fact, let me just grab it again. Yeah. So this place is nothing new, no different. It's time is just about up. Again, Jeremiah 28:8, "The prophets that have been before me, and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And America's considered the greatest nation on the planet, man. Babylon the Great. All of the kings and nations, you know what I'm saying, have drinking of her fornication, man. Have taken in on her philosophies, you know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, let's go there real quick. This is Revelations, the 18th chapter. And it says right here, the title of this particular is Babylon is Fallen in the blue letter. And I'm going to read real quick. And it says, after these, I'm starting at the top, Revelations 18:1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils and the whole of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now, real quick, let's grab the definition of the word fallen real quick. Just clarify something here real quick. Clarify my own understanding.
Strong's G 4098. Pipto.
And it reads, biblical usage, to descend from a higher place to a lower. So, as it says in Jeremiah, many great kingdoms. It says to descend from a higher place. Babylon the Great. America's the most powerful nation on the earth. And as we are seeing, the infrastructure, all that money, the monetary system, all of that, man, is disintegrating right before our eyes, man. And these nations are taking it into their own hands to stand up against this whore. To fall either from or upon, to be thrust down, metaphor, to fall under judgment, came under condemnation. So this place is falling into judgment, and let's prove that. Let's bag up out of here. And it says, Revelations 18:2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, it's coming into judgment, man, condemnation. And has become the habitation of devils and the whole of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations, see that, have drunk of her wine, of the wrath of her fornication, taking on democracy. Every nation, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't do it, they're going to regime change you by way of their CIA and all their proxy groups that they fund. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And that's what we're seeing, man. The Lord is plaguing this place, man. You know. Well, it was forest fires and whatnot. Yeah, but I'm gonna show you pictures where the damn trees are still standing, houses burnt down. Here we are with the same set of scenarios when they had that paradise over there in California. Same thing over there in Maui and in Hawaii. The vegetation is still standing for the most part. But they'll show you satellite pictures, everything look charred. But when you get ground level and you got these reporters walking around, the house is burnt down, but trees and bushes and stuff still standing. Come on now. Still the Lord. It's still the Lord. If they're using technology to do it, it was given to them by the Lord. So it's still the Lord. And I heard another voice, verse 4, from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Lord is telling you spiritually to remove yourself from the tradition of men, you know, and all the folly that comes along with being a Westerner, an American. Leave that and turn back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord. Follow the old ways of your fathers, your forefathers. At least you be destroyed. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached what? Unto heaven. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she filled with, it says, in the cup which she had filled to her double. Check this out right here. Because these homes and whatnot, when you get in, you're watching Fox News and Good Morning America, CBS News, and so forth and so on. These are prominent actors and people, I dare to say middle class and above, you know what I'm talking about? They got these crying testimonies about how they had to save their dad and all. Yeah. I'm laughing at their calamity. It is what it is. Verse 7, it says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I said a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. I beg to differ. Now, if the Lord got anything to do with it, and trust and believe he got everything to do with it, you're going to see sorrow and misery. You're going to see sorrow and great grief. Okay.
And then on top of that, as if you're not trying to spend money, you have to. Fucking everything's expensive.
Oh.
I own a painting company, I still can't fucking make it.
Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Somebody get him get him that the tissue with the aloe vera oil infused in it. Somebody give it to him before he have a shaved nose.
I'm fucking trying, man. I can't look at my daughter and my wife and know I'm failing.
Hey, but all the laws and things that have been set into place to remove the so-called black man out of the home. You know what I'm talking about? But you want us to have sympathy for you. And these people are a joke, man. And then you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have sympathy for them. Hey, man, may the Most High destroy you people, man. You know what I'm talking about? You know, it is what it is at this point. You know what I'm talking about? Because these things that they're doing are evident. You know what I'm talking about? Now they're doing it to themselves now. You follow what I'm saying? That's a problem for them. Like they like to talk about black-on-black crime. What about white-on-white crime? We don't control any technology. You know, do weapons. You know what I'm talking about? An acronym for, I'm not going to say it, but, you know, do weapons. Look it up. You know what I'm talking about? HARP technology. You know what I'm saying? We don't control that. You know what I'm talking about? Nor do we have the funds to come up with that type of technology. I mean, that's given to them. That great sword. You know what I'm talking about? That's them. Doing it to themselves. There wasn't no Jake neighborhoods that got burnt down, you know what I'm talking about? And here lately, it hasn't been any Jake neighborhoods over the past few years or so. From Hawaii to the west coast of California, there ain't no Jakes, no so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans been displaced. I'm not saying that none of them may not have lived in these areas, you know what I'm talking about, by and large, you know what I'm talking about. Jake wasn't misplaced. When it was LA riots going on, shit, they had their police force come out there and circle and camp it around the city, the areas where Jake was at, and kept that shit, you know, closed up in the neighborhoods and whatnot. And it wasn't no fun and no Goldman fund and none of that. Nobody having any sympathy or empathy for you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. So I'm coming from a place of reality. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I'm making light of this, you know what I'm talking about? But hey, it is what it is. I make no apologies for how I feel, you know?
I'm fucking
Has he got real tears or not? Let's see. Let's grab this real quick. Let's go to Lamentations. It's time to wake up. See, hey, you take that up with your folks, man, because guess what? They didn't. What is Lamentation for? The very, very, very top of the food chain of your so-called race. You know what I'm talking about? They just didn't share the spoils of the victory. All you so-called six-pack Joes and Josettes, you know what I'm talking about? All y'all got was privileges. You know what I'm saying? To be set apart from the filth, as we are concerned, as we are called. You know what I'm talking about? The undesirables. You know what I'm talking about? They gave y'all privileges. You bring something in the courtroom, it'll favor you. You know what I'm talking about? You want a nice house, the loan will favor you. You know what I'm talking about? You want a nice car, the loan will favor you. You know what I'm talking about? Those are privileges. The police roll up on the scene, and it's the so-called white and the black so-called white man to get the benefit of the doubt. You follow what I'm saying? And now you see you're losing that, and you're losing your privilege, and that's all you got out the deal. So take it up with your folks. This is Lamentations 4 and 21, and it reads, check this out. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. So this is speaking about the whole nation, of the whole race of so-called white folks, whether they Russian, Sweden, Spanish, you know what I'm talking about, French, British, the white American, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, the so-called white folks that live in America, you know, yeah. You make up the nation of Edom. You can call yourself Russians. You can call yourself Jordanians, Yugoslavians, Germans, and you're white folks. All collectively, that's who you are. You know what I'm talking about? Even the fake Israelites over there in the land of Israel. Notice I use the word fake Israelites. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, they all are considered white folks. You know what I'm talking about? And who are the so-called white folks? Esau. Esau. And I think this is Edom is a term that's used in the Greek form. Idumea is Greek, you know what I'm talking about? But it all culminates to the so-called white man. Esau, Edom, Idumean, so-called white folks. Okay. Lamentations 4 and 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwell in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto you. And we're watching that transfer of the cup. It's happening in real time. You know what I'm talking about? It says, the cup shall also pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked. Now you're fussing and fighting, you know, and we know who you're speaking to when you say, it's our turn. You preppers, you know what I'm talking about? You American citizens that got more goddamn guns and ammo than the U.S. military, quote unquote. You know what I'm talking about? What you doing all that for? Because it's gonna be a split as we are watching, as we see. You know, it's gonna be a split. The late President Jimmy Carter was just laid to rest, and they had the funeral procession, you know, and everything on TV, and you watch them dignitaries and those past presidents and their families come in there, and look how they shun Donald Trump, the incoming president. You know what I'm talking about? There's a split. There's a noticeable split. The MAGAs and the what his name, Elon Musk. You know, Steve Brennan is calling for the so-called Latin people and the so-called black people to come together to help run out Elon Musk. No, that's an in-house fight, and the chickens have come home to roost. You know what I'm talking about? And there it is.
I want my family to eat. I want you guys to eat. Stand up. Let's go. Stand up, man. Let's fucking eat. I'm tired. Let's help each other. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care what fucking color you are.
All of a sudden now it don't matter what color you are, your political affiliation. Again, you know what I'm saying, tactics, you know what I'm talking about. He'll put forth his hand as to be peaceable. But guess what? The scriptures say you never trust your enemy. So there's a fight that's going on in-house. You don't be worried about what's, they over there fighting and carrying. Hey, that's them. You don't know what they got going on or what's the reason of it. You don't preside under that roof, know their problems. Just that you stay mind and tending your own business, and this is the perfect time to tend to your own business. Let these folks sort out their own. You know what I'm talking about? Let them sort out their own grievances. That's what it's come to. Anyway, it's the Lord that's putting his hell on them anyway. Let's grab it real quick. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, Bible. Sure. I think it's real quick. Lord said he's going to put hell on them, man. He's going to transfer the curses onto them. And that's what we're witnessing. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, and it reads, "And the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So it has not, don't these people still persecute you right now to the day? There has been no justice for the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American here in America, man. When you have to go stand before a magistrate or a judge or whatever they want to call themselves, in the so-called criminal justice system, go figure, criminal justice system, you receive no justice. Kamala Harris had plenty of accounts where Jake men were found innocent and she wouldn't even stay their execution or present the evidence to the governor so that their execution could be put off so that the evidence could be gone over again. There's a lot of blood on these folks' hands, man. So why would you want to help them anyway? You follow what I'm saying? The Lord said these people have persecuted you, and He's going to transfer the curses off your ass onto them. Plain and simple. Let's go to I've done enough commentary. I'm going to pull up some videos and that point where I was saying about all these homes and stuff been burned up and whatnot. I want y'all to check that out. So bear with me a few more minutes here.
Mountains. We are now 25 miles away from the Palisades fire. So this shows you how widespread the destruction is all across Los Angeles.
Now, look at those trees standing around, palm trees still standing. Now, for a fire, I've dealt with trees, what I'm saying? I matter of fact, I got a business, self-employed, hey, call all y'all about from y'all shy, for providing me with my daily bread. Well, I deal with trees, man. How are those trees still standing? And you look all through the background, look at the brushes and everything. They still standing. They may be a little charred from the heat from the homes and whatnot. But if it was a wildfire, a brush fire, the vegetation would be gone. Wouldn't you think that the vegetation would be gone and the homes would still be standing? I mean, you got to use your brains here. You know what I'm talking about? And this is a reoccurring thing. This has been happening over the past, give or take, I know the last decade. You follow what I'm saying? And the evidence is right there in your face. Again, this is the Lord bringing judgment on Babylon, as we read in the 18th chapter. And also the Lord passing that cup, Deuteronomy, on to these people, man. You know what I'm talking about? Lamentations, you know what I'm talking about? Rejoice and be glad, you know what I'm talking about? These folks they got it coming, man. But again, if you look at the destruction, look at those trees in the background. Look at the brushes. Just check it out. Now, if you got fires, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm going to show you a picture where they're abruptly get out of their cars, they're on the interstates and whatnot, and leave them, you know what I'm talking about? And because they're learning from firestorm to firestorm what to do, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a bunch of cars just burn up at the houses. They was all on the interstate and whatnot. You follow me? But again, look at all those trees and brushes in the background.
There is a thick blanket of smoke over the city. Day 3 of fires burning in a major American city.
Again, look at all the trees. It would be obvious.
These guys are filling this trash can with water from a neighbor's pool on Halston and Altadena. And you can see they are running over to try to stop these flames from spreading. You can see next door, this home completely engulfed in flames, still burning. This one gone, but they're trying to keep the flames from spreading to this other house right next door. They're doing a really good job. This is
houses burnt to the ground, but the trees is, still, because the trees for the most part just flash burning. That's it. I want to say this real quick. I live, out in the rural area, right? And that's room between neighbors, quote unquote. And there's woods in between, undeveloped land, And a year or two back, one of my neighbors called me on my way in from New Orleans and said, "Hey man, such and such want to burn this, burn it." And I said, "Well, wait till I get there," So, but anyway, make a long story short, he set it ablaze, and the fire department showed up out here and whatnot. And all that burned was the woods itself. All the greenery, the brush, it was burnt up. It was burnt up, but in these you can see that there's still brush, bushes, and stuff. They're still standing. Mind you, a whole tree may not just burn all the way up, but brushes and stuff like that, it's gonna burn up. Bushes, that stuff is gonna burn up, but it's still standing.
crazy.
Right here. This is where it's gotta be. This is, oh my God. What? I've never, look at this. Beyond comprehension.
That's the one.
Okay, I guess let's park along this.
Say that the Palisades fire is one of the most destructive natural disasters in the history of Los Angeles.
The cause of the fire remains unknown, and it continues to be under active investigation.